Branch manager and mortgage loan originator at Guaranteed Rate in Meridian, Idaho, coming to you with another edition of Mortgage Moment with Eric. So today we're going to talk about housing demand, supply and demand. I mean, if you want to just reduce it to its simplest level, housing prices are driven by supply and demand. If there is more demand than there is supply, housing prices go up. If there is less demand than supply, housing prices go down. If we're somewhere right in the middle and nice and balanced, then we have what's called a balanced market. So, what I want to talk to you today is about housing formations. And it's one of these things that a lot of people really don't hear about and therefore just don't understand what it is and how it affects housing prices. So, let's talk about what housing demand and household formations are. So, I'm showing you a chart on here for about the last year and a half or so on household formations. Now, typically, that averages about 1.5, 1.6, maybe 1.65 million household formations per year. But what is a household formation? So I'll talk about myself as the perfect example. So I have a family of six: me, my wife, four children. So we are a household of six people. Our oldest child is a junior in college now and doesn't live with us anymore. Now he's renting a house with two other roommates that he met in the dorms at college. So, my oldest kid, who now has his own household, my household of one, when it was me, my wife, and four kids, one household, has now become two households. Okay. I happen to have twins. And when they move out of the house, those kids are going to move into their own household. So my household of one that became a household of two is very soon going to become a household of four. So if you think about that expansion of households across the country with just my example, that's exactly what household formations are. So, what does household formations mean then here with respect to housing demand? So, again, let's come back to the chart I'm showing you here, and you could follow the line graph here. This shows you that household formations were running for most of the last year at around 1.75 million. But take a look at what happened there. They came down, down, down through the second half of 2022. Why would household formations drop off that much in 2022? Well, spoiler alert, it had a lot to do with high mortgage rates because people that would otherwise be at a point in their lives where they're ready to go and buy a new house probably need a mortgage loan from someone like me, right? Except when mortgage rates were spiking up as fast as they were, and they got up to the mid 7% when we were at the highest points back in the fall of 2022 last year. That really puts a lid on household formations because people just don't feel as comfortable to go out and purchase a house with rates in those high levels, the highest levels we've seen in lots of years. Okay. So if you think about that, that's the reason why we didn't have the number of household formations that we did. So what does that mean with actual inventory that's being created? So now let's go to the supply side of it. That was the demand side. Now let's go to the supply. So we are seeing typically about 1.5 million housing starts completed. Now that's nationally. So every housing market is a little bit different, right? But about 1.5 starts nationally per year. I didn't even know this until I was coached by my content coach, and hats off to MBS Highway for helping me with this information in this presentation for you. There are about 100,000 homes that are just destroyed annually. They reach a place of functional obsolescence. They're just dilapidated and have to be raised. So about 100,000 homes nationally just cease to be there anymore. Okay. So that takes us down to about 1.4 million new homes available for purchase every single year. Well, that is all well and fine if we have 1.3 million household formations, because if I go back to the previous demand slide, that was where we were because of high interest rates. Okay. Now, the problem with that is that's not making up for what problem that we've seen over a lot of years. We have just had a dramatic underbuilding of homes for many, many years. And that's the next slide that I want to show you here. So this is a household formations chart overlaid by how many housing starts were completed going back to 2012. Now, this is an article that's on realtor.com, and I will share this in the comments to this video after I'm done so you can reference this yourself. But you can see here, the black line kind of nice and steady there. That's the number of housing starts that we've had per year. And you can see it's just nicely increasing, going up until we got to 2021. Well, the number dropped off significantly because the demand was not there, because those household formations were moving lower. That's the red line here. But if you go back all the way to 2012, you can see, except for this period of 2013, every single year, the red line is higher than the black line, meaning there are more household formations than there are new homes available for sale. So think about the problem that creates, right? If we have more households that are getting created than we do housing getting built, we're going to have a supply-demand imbalance. So a lot of times our conversations, not just mine as a mortgage lender, but real estate agents, and this is nationally, it all comes around with this idea and aspect of, well, I think the housing market is going to crash. Rates are too high. No one's going to buy. Here's the spoiler alert. You need to realize this. You cannot opt out of living somewhere. Now, certainly, you can stay in mom and dad's basement for a while, right? Save up some money, prepare for that home purchase, but delay that for a while. There's a lot of people that I'm talking to that are doing that. But there are very, very, very few people who choose to live in mom and dad's basement for the rest of their lives, right? That's just not realistic to think that. So if you think about the supply-demand dynamic in the way I've described it, household formations exceeding new inventory being started, we are setting ourselves up for more shortages in housing, which will lead to an upward pressure on home prices and probably get us to a point in the spring where we're seeing multiple offer situations again and sellers controlling the market. So I know that's not sometimes the news that we want to see and hear, right? But that's the reality of the true component of supply demand. Supply being the number of homes that are started and built by builders nationally compared to the number of households that are being formed. I hope this information was helpful for you, and at least you have a little bit of a better understanding now about some of the supply-demand dynamics that are driven by household formation and new housing starts. If you have any questions about this or are just looking to get pre-approved and start the home purchase process, I would love to be that resource for you. I'm going to put all of my contact information for you in the comments down below. Please reach out to me if I can help. I'm here to be a resource. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching. Make it a great day.